I went over my notes today, and after reading over everything, I found out that we haven't run through any phrasal verbs here in a while. Have we fallen behind? Or is it just that I've been mixing things up? Let's discuss.
Welcome to another Happy English podcast coming to you from New York City. And here's your English teacher, Michael.
All right, thank you, John, and thanks, everyone. It's Michael here from Happy English, and I help people speak English better. This is Happy English Podcast, episode 751, Phrasal Verbs for Education. Phrasal verbs are a huge part of English, especially spoken English. And today, I have a set of 10 phrasal verbs that you can use to talk about education, learning, and studying. Before we dive in, let's listen to a conversation between two high school teachers who are talking in the teacher's office at the end of the school day.
Hey, John. Have you had a chance to go over the student essays yet?
Yeah, I just finished. I had to read over a couple of them a few times because some students still haven't caught on to the structure we discussed.
Same here. I think they're mixing up the formatting rules. I'll need to go over that again in class.
That sounds like a good idea. And did you hand out the project guidelines for next week?
Yes, I handed them out this morning. I told them to hand in their rough drafts by Friday so we can give feedback before the final submission.
That's smart. I'll run through the project instructions with my class tomorrow, just to make sure they don't fall behind.
Good plan. I had a couple of students fall behind last semester, and it's tough to get them back on track.
Yeah, I know what you mean. By the way, one student asked me if they could look up the project details using some extra resources online for their project. I think it's great.
Definitely. It's nice when they find out things on their own. I'll make sure to remind my students to look up any terms they don't understand too.
Sounds like we're on the same page. Hopefully, everyone will catch on this time.
And now, let's have a look at these phrasal verbs. The first one is go over. Go over means to review or check something. For example, let's go over the homework before we hand it in. I need to go over my notes before the exam tomorrow. In a similar way, we have read over. Read over means to read something quickly, often to check for mistakes or to check the details. Here are some examples. Make sure to read over your essay before you hand it in. The teacher read over our assignments and gave feedback. The third one is catch on. Catch on means to understand something, especially after some time. You can catch on or catch on to something. Let's look at some examples. They talk pretty quickly on that TV program, but I finally caught on. Alice caught on to the new math concepts faster than the rest of the class. The next one is mix up, which means to confuse two or more things. For example, a lot of English learners mix up the meanings of affect, the verb, and affect, the noun. I heard that Cindy mixed up the dates for the assignment and handed it in late. Next, we have two hand phrasal verbs, hand out and hand in. Hand out means to distribute something to a group of people. Here are some examples. In front of the station, they were handing out samples of some new coffee drink. The professor handed out the exam papers as soon as the class started. On the other hand in means to officially submit something, like homework or an assignment. Let's look at some examples of this. Don't forget to hand in your assignments by Friday. I handed in my essay just before the deadline. Next is look up, which means to search for information, especially in reference books or online. For example, if you don't know the word, just look it up in the dictionary. Barry quickly looked up the answer on his phone during the class. Next, when you run through something, you review something quickly, like a list, a schedule, or a set of instructions. Let's run through the plan one more time before we start. We ran through the schedule before the school trip. If you fall behind in your lessons or your work, you fail to keep up with that. Now, here are some examples of fall behind. I missed a week of school, so I fell behind in math. If you don't study regularly, you'll fall behind. And finally for today, we have find out. Find out means to learn or discover information. Now, I found out there's going to be a pop quiz tomorrow. We'll find out the test results next week. Remember, you can find out information, but you find an object. And keep in mind, the best way to remember this and any other word or phrase in English is to practice by taking that word or phrase, write it in a sentence that's true for you or true in your world, and then memorize your sentences. Hey, did you know that you can get the chance to practice this kind of English with me directly? You can get more practice using your English when you join my Podcast Learners Study Group. There you can make new friends. Join us for live group lessons every week where we practice these podcast lessons together. Plus, you get access to the PDF transcript and audio download for every Happy English podcast in the past and in the future. And on top of that, each episode has exercises where you can practice this English point with speaking and writing checked by me. To learn more, just visit myhappyenglish.com and choose podcast lesson 751. Remember, learning another language is not easy, but it's not impossible, and I'm here to help you on your journey.
This podcast was brought to you by Happy English. Please visit myhappyenglish.com. Show your support for Happy English by leaving us a review. Get English, get happy, Happy English.